Hey everyone, it's Jason, and are you a smart cruise passenger? These are 7 things that smart or experienced cruise passengers always do when they cruise, and if having a quiet cabin is important to you, you may want to stick around to number 7. So number 1, and this will go against everything that you've ever heard, is make sure to bring alcohol. Most cruise lines allow you to bring 1 to 2 bottles of wine or champagne when you board the ship. Now, the first thing that we do when we board is find our stateroom attendant, and we'll ask them, hey, can you bring us a couple glasses for wine? Never an issue. The nice thing about doing this is 1, you avoid any corkage fees. 2, it's nice to have if you have a balcony. Sit on your balcony, enjoy a nice glass of wine, and watch the ocean go by. You might be asking, well, how do I carry 2 bottles of wine on board? And what we suggest is a carrier like this. We've had this over 20 years. It's nicely aligned, it's really padded real nice, and it also has a spot for your corkscrew. So that is something I suggest. I have a link to it in the description on my Amazon cruise store. Now, one thing I will say is do not put your wine in your checked-in luggage. That is recipe for a disaster. Unfortunately, we experienced that once, and now we use that carrier every time we go on board, and it's always in our carry-on. Make sure to always put it in your carry-on. The other thing you might be saying is, well, hey, I fly into, let's say, Florida. What am I going to do there? So if you're near a Publix grocery store, every one of them has wine, and many of them have their own liquor stores. The other place would be a Walgreens. They also have wine in Walgreens, and they also have their own liquor stores. So just look out for those 2 locations if you're flying into Florida. So do you bring your own wine or champagne on board? Let me know in the comments. So number 2, always make sure to book add-ons before you get on the cruise ship. And what I mean by that is specialty dining, excursions, and the beverage packages. This is especially true for those 3. Now, what I'll tell you is a couple of things. 1, make sure to just go ahead and book that right away. And then check out any of the holidays. We have Black Friday coming up, but anytime there is a holiday, check those again, especially if you're on Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, as they run flash sales all the time. Now, there is a tip in there. If you see that price change, you can either do it online or you can make a phone call. If you have a specialty dining reservation, I highly suggest you pick up the phone because you do not want to lose that reservation time. So pick up the phone, go, hey, can I get the difference there? And you absolutely will. They'll honor that. Just know you can save roughly 35 to 50% sometimes online versus on the ship. So make sure to always book online before you get on your cruise ship. Is this something you guys do? Let me know in the comments. So number 3, always take the stairs when possible. Let's face it, the elevators, especially on some of these mega ships, you can get on them or wait for them. They take forever. They're packed usually, and you're packed in there like sardines, and then they stop at every single floor. It's a pain. So what we like to do is make sure to position ourselves when we pick out our cabin where we're only about 2 or 3 flights up. So, floors up, and we're at like maybe the buffet or the pool deck, and then 2 or 3 flights down, and then we're kind of in that main corridor area. So that's something that you want to pre-plan, kind of understand, and be able to take, 3 flights up, 3 flights down, and really take the stairs. 1, it helps with, walking around after eating a lot of food, and 2, you're just going to save a lot of time and keep those elevators empty for those that really need them. So number 4, and this may take some of you by surprise, is make sure to check your shipboard account daily. Now, the reason why I say this is because sometimes there's charges on there that just aren't from you. We've been on 30 plus cruises, and every single cruise we've been on, there's been a charge on there that wasn't ours. And they range from a couple Cokes, $8, to well over $100. And so the reason why I said is check it daily is you do not want to wait till the last night or the day of disembarkation because there's going to be long lines. There always is. So check that account daily. And when you see a charge on there, if you do, just go down to guest services. They'll remove it, no issues. So number 5, make sure to have a good packing list. I put a good packing list together that we use because if we don't use it, we'll forget things every single time. So it's free. There's a link in the description below. And then many of the items that are in that packing list are in my Amazon cruise store. So you can check that out also. So number 6, know the drink package rules before buying it. You're going to be spending hundreds, if not over $1,000 on these drink packages. Know what's included and not included. You may like a top shelf liquor and it may not be included in some of these beverage packages. Also, if you're traveling on Carnival, Princess, or Holland America, they have a 15 drink per 24-hour rule. So just know that before purchasing their beverage packages. Also, one tip. If you have a cabin and it has a mini bar, these are almost never included in your beverage package. So don't go drinking them all week because you're going to get a nice bill at the end of your cruise and that will be a surprise or a shock to you and it will not be included in the beverage package. So just know all those rules before spending all that money on them. So before I get to number 7, I would ask that you please like this video as it does help the channel grow. Also, consider subscribing as I do daily cruise news shorts and tips and tricks. I also do longer cruise videos on Saturdays and Sundays at 8 a.m. Thanks so much. So number 7, you want a quiet cabin, like we all do. One tip is make sure to have an end of the hall cabin. We do this a lot. When you get traffic that walks by your cabin, it's just loud. And there is a lot of foot traffic, especially if you're in the middle of the ship. Now, this only holds true if you can handle and you don't get a lot of motion sickness. If you're good with that, then that's why I would suggest this. We're always in usually the aft on the starboard side. It's where I always look to pick. It's just my thing. So that's really always where I pick my cabins and I love it. They're quiet. Typically they're backed by the suites. So you really don't maybe have one cabin next to you. It ends up being a great location on all the cruise ships. Just don't take my cabin, okay? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this list. There is a ton of things that smart cruisers do. These are just my top 7. Do you have anything to add to it? Please let us know in the comments. I appreciate you guys so much for watching, and I love the support. Thank you so much. It means really a lot to me. And until I talk to you next week, happy cruising.